So, welcome to Tailgate Talks, which might be what this is called from now on. This is our first guest, Marissa. She's a super godly lady who I've had the privilege to get to know over the last year and a half. She's super dear to my heart. She's my best friend, and she's amazing, and I would just love it if she could share her wisdom with everybody. And so that's what today is all about.
Hi, my name is Marissa, and I've been here in Colorado for nearly 6 years. I'm actually originally from a small town in Texas called Karnes City. I've had the privilege to live here in Colorado for the last 5.5, nearly 6 years, and I really actually enjoy it. And I really want to start over because I said that twice.
Shocking. She actually enjoys it.
Actually enjoys it.
Year 7, though? We'll find out.
I don't know. You know, this past year. No.
So what started your, faith journey? What did that look like?
My faith journey started when I was 13 years old. My family was going through a really hard transition, a really big time of transition, actually, and we had a lot of things going wrong. And we ended up in this small church that was a block away from my family's house back in Texas, and it was a really amazing experience, honestly, going to this church and really feeling so loved, feeling so loved, feeling a love that I've never felt before, and really being captivated by that love, and it completely transformed my life. And that was when I was a teenager, 13 years old.
Wow. So from 13 to now.
Yes.
It's a lot to cover in a little time, but do you have any, big moments of testimony, or, how did you grow or change your relationship with God, kind of evolve over time through life?
I feel like my biggest transitions, or, my biggest times of growth have been in times of hardship. When I was 20, I was diagnosed with a leukemia, a CML, and that was I was not expecting that. That was a very hard time in my life. And then when I turned 22, I went through a bone marrow transplant, so to correct everything, and then I had intense chemo treatments and just a lot of very difficult things, but it definitely pushed me in my relationship with God forward. It was a trying time, but it sparked a lot of growth. During that time, there was just a lot of feeling I don't know if I'm gonna make it through. I think it's kind of similar to what's going on now. It was time kind of a panic and unknown uncertainty of what would come next and what would happen next. And really seeing how God moved in that time in my life, and how close He was.
Yeah. So how did you feel like God was moving, or how did you keep yourself from feeling alone or panicked or hopeless or isolated? How did you combat that, and how was God in your life in that way too?
I did definitely felt those. There were moments of this overwhelming emotion or feelings that kind of come to us all at different times, but there was just this stillness that even though the storm was raging, and even though I was feeling completely hopeless and helpless sometimes, I can't do anything, but I know that God was working behind the scenes. I was fully convinced that He was taking care of me. Yeah. It's just my emotions were all over the place, because it was just it was a very difficult time, and feeling I don't know, Lord, it's really You. Only You can do all these things, and only You can be what I need You to be right now. And but to say that I never went through those feelings that would that didn't happen, I definitely felt oh my goodness, what comes next? But there was something that was very deep inside my spirit, and it was just this peace. He was I have you, I got you, and we're you're not this, I'm your healer. I'm going to take care of you. I'm your provider. And just feeling that solid foundation being built in that time of trial.
Yeah, totally. Has there been any, coming out of that, how has that shaped your walk with God from that time of really intense hardship and just a lot emotional fluctuating and your physical health? From then on, how has that experience shaped your walk with God? Because I'm sure it wasn't just a one and done deal, okay, thanks for getting me through that, that's it, I'll check with you later.
No, it was definitely a process for me. But I think the biggest thing I've gotten out of that, and kind of what I took moving forward, was the story in the Bible where it talks about Mary and Martha was running around and she was very busy doing things, you know, for Jesus, and then you see Mary and she's like sitting there at the feet of Jesus, just like leaning and learning from him and kind of absorbing from him. And I feel like in my life, one of the biggest lessons I've learned during that time was to be like Mary. Like, I want to live a life like Mary. Like, in that time, when I was going through the transplant, I felt like the world had continued. Like, everyone was living and everyone was doing things and people were kind of coming and going. And I remember being like, you're all I have, Lord. Like, I'm just going to sit here at your feet and learning to feel like he is more than enough in every season. And the seasons I'm most broken, and even whenever I'm like feeling most uplifted, most encouraged, or I'm like really booming forward, but he is more than enough. And just learning to sit at the feet of Jesus and just be there with him, like, and learning to fully commit and kind of just be with him more than anything. And that has been like a game changer for me since then.
Nice.
I feel like during that time also developed definitely an endurance. Because, like, I mean, obviously since then, that wasn't the only hard time I've been through. It wasn't the time I felt broken or hurt or felt like a hard time happened or a trial or something came up where I felt like, oh my goodness, like, Lord, I really need you, and this is just so rough, you know? Yeah. He didn't promise that we wouldn't go through hard times or difficult things, you know, but he promised he would be with us.
2020.
He definitely promised he would be with us through it all, like, regardless of what it is, like, God is going to be there. And he will never leave us. He will never forsake us. And also just learning to push through and being with him it brings you joy. So, like, it's not really easy for me to fake through things. I know, like, sometimes it's easy to be like, oh,
everything's fine.
Everything is great.
Yeah. Peach keen.
When really, in reality, sometimes that's not really how it is. Yeah. Everything is not great. And I think even, like, it's easy to tell yourself and to, like, avoid dealing with things that you've gone through, dealing with difficult things in life. Dealing with brokenness. Yeah. It's so easy to not want to deal with those things. But I've learned over time, like, when I'm broken, Lord, I need you. I need you, and I want to deal with this now, because where you're going to take me, I don't want to carry this stuff with me. I don't want to be so broken that I miss your will or miss your purpose for my life, or I get there and I'm barely making it. Like, I want to full force move forward, and the only way I can do that is if I'm taking one day at a time and being completely honest with myself, but also in the presence of God. Like, God, I really need you. I have some issues. This is where I am right now. And
full disclosure.
And I'm not okay. Yeah, I'm not okay. But I really need you to come, and I really need you to be, you know, to heal me. My whatever it is I'm dealing with, whether it's emotional healing or physical healing. I really need you to come heal me so I can move forward. Yeah. And I can be whole when I'm moving forward. And
what's your process of doing that? Like, is it a lot of, like, prayer time and in the Word? Do you, like, draw? Are you singing? Like, what does this look like for you?
I actually do a lot of journaling, and I do read the Word, but I also spend a lot of time in the presence of God. And I don't always have stuff to say. I found more recently, like, sometimes I'm coming to him and I'm like, I just want to be with you, but I, like, have no words, but you can see my heart, and this is where I am. You know, like, you see the heart, the condition of my heart, and this is where I am right now, Lord. But it has been a lot of, like, spending time with him and being alone with him. Like, that's been a big thing. Like, I love spending time with people. I'm very big on one-on-ones, and I do that quite often. But I also love my one-on-one time with him. Like, it's very important to me, and I found over years it's the only way I'm making it through. It's the only way I'm making it through is whenever I have
this is the life hack, everybody.
It's the only way. Like, I can't think of another way. I can't think of another, like, it's just with him. It's with him.
So in your time of quarantine, because we're all in a time of quarantine, how has...
it's definitely been a new experience. I felt like I've been quarantined before.
Have you?
Being with, like,
I don't know why.
With this big bone marrow transplant and feeling that.
They didn't want you to get sick.
I feel like that definitely helped prepare me. But it's been an experience because now it has been, like, years have gone on, and just seeing kind of where everyone is right now, and it's a difficult time for everyone. And people are being affected by this virus, and jobs are shifting, and there's just a lot of hardship going on. And I really would like to encourage people right now, because this is a great time to lean on God, to trust God, to spend time with God, to grow in God. Like, if there's any time that you could do it, it's definitely now. He's given us such a good opportunity to be with Him, and then to pray for one another.
Yeah.
And also just to be like Mary. This is the time that we get to be like Mary. We have nothing else going on. We're definitely, on just very slow. We have plenty of time to sit at the feet of Jesus, to glean from Him, and just to really
live in the joy.
To really live in the joy, and to be full of the joy, because in His presence is the fullness of joy, and He brings that peace that surpasses all understanding, and He gives us strength to get through it, and He's our healer overall. Like, God can heal. He still heals people, and that's physically as well. So just taking time to really spend time with your Maker, spend time with your God.
Yeah. And this is something that everyone can dive in. Like, this isn't Marissa's God. Well, it is Marissa's God. But it's everybody's God. This isn't just for people who at 13 fell in love with Christ. This is for anyone who's even thought about investigating this. Like, I feel like every human being has some sort of personal responsibility to at least figure out what you believe about the world and what you believe about the universe. And I personally believe that is God. But if you're just walking through life and being I don't need to think about this, or I don't need to figure it out, I mean, as a human being here, I feel like everyone has responsibility at some point in their life to kind of investigate this, right? And so we have at least 2 weeks, probably, to really dive in. A lot of us do anyway. I know that there's a lot of people still at work and helping our society work, and they're praying for you, and we're super thankful for you. But if you find that you have some time on your hands, seems like it could be a really good opportunity.
Yes, I agree. And this is an amazing God. I tell you, I've known Him personally for many years. Such an amazing God who has such a love for you. And it's love for all of us. It's just this overwhelming a love that you will never find, ever. It's really beautiful.
So this is Marissa. Thank you so much for being here and coming out into the middle of nowhere. In my truck.
Be safe.
You will get to ride in that part of the show. And hopefully you can come back and share more of your awesome testimony. And thanks for being here.
God bless you guys. Hey guys.
This is Tailgate Talks with our first guest ever, and maybe our last.
The first.
This might be a very short-lived series. Alright, this is...
And then I'll...
It is March 21st. No, it's not.
Wait, what am I saying? What is
It
it?
is March 22nd, 2020. We are in a potential shooting range at this moment. As in, there's a lot of gunshots. We're very safe. This is Tailgate Talks. This is my tailgate. This is our talker. Okay, go. Alright, how are we going to start?
We need to start better, because I cannot stop laughing.
Alright. Hi everybody, thank you for watching. So I'm going to try to have a series called Tailgate Talks. I'm going to try to get some super wise people on my tailgate, or at least in the bed of the truck, to share some wisdom and insight. And I've met a lot of awesome people here, and I just want to share them with the world if they're willing to kind of dispose of their talents in that way.